Alright, welcome to another Amberlynn Reid video. This one is titled, I was never told to go to the doctor, using scooters, and the craziest story time. Let's talk episode 6. Right away we start off with this hairstyle. Her gambling addiction linked to a beer. Her membership. Some comments and you dislike. There we go. Willow 65, you will quickly spend $30,000 a month on food, but you think $1,200 a month is too much to spend on the drugs that could save your life. Your mind is so smooth up. Let's Talk needs to be renamed to, let me tell you, the way you do it is unheard. There's no processing the feedback people give you. You take everything as an attack and you all have to excuse already. And you really don't grasp the difference between an explanation and an excuse. Halfway through your 30s and you still refuse to take control of your whole life. How is that working for you? Eating 1,200 calories is not disorder. It's literally to save your life. You weigh 500 pounds and have been dieting for 20 plus years. What you've done hasn't worked. JFC. It was not Beck's job to monitor your health. 1,200 calories is disordered, but being 400 pounds overweight is fine. Okay. Now we jump right in.
Hello, welcome to another Let's Talk video. So let's start with sweet and sour. That's where I keep the last Let's Talk from last week. I use a random comment generator. I choose the first comment I see of that, and I give you guys a shout out pretty much. Cinnamoroll. I choose the first comment I see of that, and I give you guys a last week. I use a random comment generator. I choose the first comments I see of that, and I give you guys a shout out pretty much. Cinnamoroll.cherry said, "Girl, it's not fat phobia if you're literally over 500 pounds. That genuinely makes no sense." Lou Samina said, "I like this so much. Love your confidence and positivity in this episode. Yes, always stand up for yourself, always use your voice, and don't let anyone trump on you." Seriously, thank you so much for the positivity, and a bunch of hearts to you as well. Lady Whistledown-F1F said, "You use electronic carts, and you know you do, and there's a 0% chance that you don't have diabetes." So regarding the electric scooters, I will be talking more about that in Tier Tale, so wait till the end for that. As for the diabetes, I'm not even pre-diabetic. I have been checked multiple times over and over through the years. It's as shocking to me as it is for you. Trust me, if I had diabetes with the insurance that I have, I'd be able to take Ozempic for only $25 a month. Sadly, since I do not have diabetes, if I ever do want to take Ozempic and not the compounded stuff, it's like $1,200 a month. Alright, so next is Sipping Community, and that is where I leave a little community tab post for you guys. So you can leave me questions, concerns, topics that you want me to talk about, etc, etc. Let's get into it. Why do you say that you refuse to film your worst days of eating and that you're accountable at the same time? Because obviously I'm ashamed, and I know the backlash that I would receive. There are a lot of people online who do share their overeating problems or their binging or whatever it may be, and they get a lot of like positive comments and a lot of support, but when I do it, because I am my size, I get a lot of hate. But when you're thin and you suffer with those same exact things that I suffer with, you get support. It's actually really sad. And it's definitely triggering, so I just don't want to put myself in that position. Did you say your therapist had suggested the BPD workbook? Yes, my EMDR therapist actually suggested it, but my DBT therapist said that I should not be doing a workbook alongside the therapy that she's teaching, because it would conflict with the therapy that she's doing. Why do you constantly go against the advice of professionals knowing it has gotten you absolutely nowhere? I think what's really frustrating is like I have seen all sorts of different professionals because of my weight, and they all give contradicting advice. And I think it's because everyone is different, and what works for someone else might not work for the second person in line. I think every advice that I have got is something that could work for somebody, but it is crazy how all professionals give different advice. A good example of that is like, because I do suffer with disordered eating, when I was going to an eating disorder outpatient program, they told me that the very thing that will make me continue overeating and having that disordered eating is counting calories. So they told me not to do it. They told me to give in to my cravings. And let's just say if I go see Dr. Now, for an example, he would tell me to only eat 1,200 calories, which is like so disordered. He would be telling me not to eat carbs, etc, etc. But then say I go to a nutritionist, they'd be teaching me how to eat all the food groups, including carbs. Like, it's just like a vicious circle of like, all professionals are right, Like, obviously they're professionals for a reason, but they all contradict each other, and it's definitely confusing. Apparently someone found out you can bring outside food to your fave bingo hall. What was the point of telling us no, outside food allowed? There's literally signs in every single bingo hall that we go to that say that you cannot bring food or drinks, outside food or drinks, into the bingo hall. Nobody does it because you are not allowed to. And I respect the bingo halls. Alright, you guys, so it is time for a interview. That is where you can go to my Instagram and you can interview me using your voice by just sending me a message with a voice memo. If you don't have the option to do so, just send me a microphone emoji and then I'll send you a smiley face emoji back and it'll give you the option to do so. Just remember, no matter when you have sent me that voice memo, you still have a chance of being chosen because I choose old and I choose new. Let's get into it.
Hey Amber, I've been a fan for years, so thank you for this opportunity. I have a couple questions. The first one is, do you ever go back and look at your old footage and like how does that feel and what would you want to tell your old self if you could now? And then my other question.
I'll answer the first one first. Yes, I do sometimes go back and look at my old content. If I can go back in time, I would tell myself to do things differently in my personal life and here publicly. Weight related, I would tell myself lose weight, get healthier. Mental health related, I would be like, bro, like go to therapy sooner. You have BPD. Get that under control. Relationship wise, I would stop wasting my time on people just so I didn't have to be alone. Because back then I was scared to be alone. Financially, I would save money. Publicly, I wouldn't share certain things. I would keep some of the personal things that I have shared online. I would keep those private. And there's a lot of other things as well, but that's just a few.
And my other question is kind of looking more to the future. If you ever did get to your goal weight, what would be kind of the first thing you want to do? What's something that you haven't been able to do at your current self that you really, really want to? Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you as well. So I really don't know what my goal weight is per se, but there is like a certain feeling that is my goal that I'm striving for. And that feeling is just like better stamina and just lighter on my feet, just feeling better physically, mentally, internally, externally. And something I really want to do is like hop on a plane and go somewhere, like travel somewhere like Las Vegas. Vegas-land like needs to happen.
So this might be TMI.
Of course, gambling wants to go
I
to
just
Vegas.
closed the toilet, right? And we have no plunger because we just moved. And the plunger is still at the old house because we haven't moved everything in yet. So I tried to use the hot water and dish soap method and it just overflowed the toilet and the toilet looked like a bathtub and it did not work at all. And then I had to stress out about it and then like used a toilet brush and it worked within like 5 seconds. So I just wanted to ask, do you have any embarrassing toilet clogging stories like mine?
Wow.
If you don't, that's okay.
Yikes.
I'm confused by the toilet looking like a bathtub because what bathtub is dirty like that? But no, I don't have any embarrassing clogging stories. Thank you for the story time. I'm glad you got it figured out and you gave my audience a suggestion. If you don't have a clogger or it's not working, use your toilet brush because it might work.
Hey girl, my question to you is, if you could collab with any YouTuber of your choice, who would it be?
I would definitely collab with someone from the local universe. I have been kind of obsessed lately, I'm not gonna lie about it. I know Keemstar wants me on Local Live, but then Becky wants me on Local Queens, Roxy wants me on Local Milkers, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Can I just like be on all of them? I am kind of shy though. I know it doesn't seem like it because I have a whole YouTube channel, but like I'm genuinely obsessed with that whole universe. Like it's just crazy. And I like how like they all like are cutthroat, but I think at the end of the day, they all just genuinely are like a knit group of friends and everything they're doing is definitely for entertainment. That's like the company. That's probably what Keemstar said to do. Like be as entertaining as possible. If I don't take any of it like to heart or at heart, I feel like at the end of the day, they all have each other's backs and it's just like hella entertaining to me.
My question to you, Amber, is how you still remain graceful in the situation, and as much as people dogpile on you, like how? I obviously think of this question before, but I don't know if I would have the same outlook or response as a 33-year-old adult woman also struggling with PCD.
So I will say sometimes I'm not as graceful. Sometimes I really can let my emotions get to me. But it makes sense. Like I have people messaging me all the time saying, how do you deal with the mob mentality? How do you deal with people just, as you said, dogpiling on you for like no reason? Things are a bit extreme and I don't know how I'm so graceful. I don't know how I handle it. I genuinely don't, and I say that every single time. I think sometimes it's easier to fight war with peace instead of destruction.
Hey Amber, sorry for the delay. I was feeling really sick and I didn't have a voice for a while to send you a voice note. I just wanted to ask, Why do you not take your estradiol anymore, your estrogen that you were prescribed after your hysterectomy? Why do you not take the medication that you were prescribed for your high blood pressure that you were diagnosed with?
Okay, so this is like really long, there's still a minute and 14 seconds left, and I'm gonna forget these questions, so I'm just gonna answer them now. I was actually prescribed a low dose of high blood pressure medicine, I think back in 2019, and it was making me feel wonky. So I talked to my doctor about it. She took me off of it because like back then I didn't have high blood pressure. It was like very low key, like moderate high blood pressure. So she took me off of it and then wanted to test and see if I had high blood pressure, like for real. So I had to take my blood pressure at home, I had to like log it, and then I had to show her the log. I had to go in, she had to do it, and I didn't have high blood pressure, and she was like, you shouldn't be on this medicine. So I think when I get super anxious or I'm stressed, especially back in like 2019, if like I walked a lot, like back then my mobility was horrific. So even just walking the parking lot and then walking in the doctor's office, etc., it definitely raised my blood pressure. And she said that's not enough to like keep me on the medicine. So that's why I don't take that. As for the estrogen, it was actually prescribed to me falsely. I shouldn't have been taking it, and I was taking it for 2 years. I actually have all of this documented in videos, and I ended up going to an appointment to talk to my oncologist, being like, why was this prescribed to me? Like, I wasn't supposed to be taking this. And she was as shocked as I was, to be honest. But it turns out it was a new person at their job that prescribed it, and like no one caught on to it. But me taking that medicine due to the surgery, the cancer that I had, the grade and the stage, it actually made it to where I could easily get cancer again because of that medicine. So I'm not supposed to be taking it at all. I'm actually, unfortunately, not supposed to be taking any estrogen, which is very unfortunate because I do miss it. I can definitely tell a big difference since I've been off of it.
And why do you not take your Lamictal or any type of the mood stabilizers or antidepressants that you used to be on?
So I was on Lamictal for about 5 years, and I took it religiously for 4 years. And I don't know why, but the last year of me being on it, I would go like a week without taking it. So Lamictal, you are not supposed to do that because Lamictal is a very serious mood stabilizer. And at the time, I was happier. So I felt like I was happier without it. I felt like I didn't need it anymore. So I actually talked to my psychiatrist at the time, and I said, I don't feel like I need this anymore. They asked why. I gave all my examples, and they said, okay, let's tamper you off of it nice and slowly. I didn't do that, which is my fault, my bad. Don't follow my footsteps. I'm not perfect, I'm only human. But I did stop taking it, and I felt fine. It wasn't until like a year later that I realized, oh damn, I'm kind of getting bad again. It took a lot for me to even start the Lamictal in general because I am fearful of medicine. So that fear made it easier for me not to go back on it.
In the same vein also, why do you never take any type of vitamin or anything?
I do take vitamins. I actually take iron and a multivitamin.
I noticed that you have been mentioning that you have hair loss and that kind of thing. And certain types of vitamins and supplements especially would really help with that, and so would taking your estrogen.
I'm sadly not allowed to take estrogen. I've tried, I've talked to a few doctors about it, my oncologist, and I'm just not allowed to.
You definitely don't get the vitamins from diet, neither do I. I have to take a bunch of vitamins. And also you don't take your estrogen anymore, so your body does not have enough to help maintain your hair. We need a lot of protein and estrogen to properly maintain hair follicles.
Bro, you're telling me things I know. I feel so sad about it. Trust me, my hair has turned to shit ever since my hysterectomy and me not having estrogen anymore.
And keep blood flow to the scalp, and also to make keratin and stuff. So that was my question. Why do you not take any of the medications that you were prescribed to help with your conditions, and why do you never take any type of supplement or vitamin to help your body? Thanks.
Well, thank you for the questions. Hopefully I answered them thoroughly. Alright, you guys, now it's time for tea or tails, where I take the rumors that I hear about me and I tell you if it's tea or I tell you if it's tail. So this is 2 of them, but it kind of goes hand in hand. Amberlynn rides scooters in the store, and Amberlynn doesn't even go grocery shopping. So I don't feel like digging through my vlogs because I'm good, but I'm just going to show you like my most recent vlogs to show you that that's not true. So I'm about to show you a few clips from literally my most recent weekly vlogs. Keep in mind, all of these clips are from different weekly vlogs, so it's not all part of the same vlog. In one vlog here, you can see that I am walking towards the mochi. You can tell that I'm walking when I open the door. I show it to you, close the door, etc. So I highly recommend these, my mochis, but there's usually more flavors. There's one is a strawberry, which that's my least favorite, so I'm not gonna get those, but they're delish. The next clip I'm going to show you is me literally standing, and you can see me right in the beginning move the cart towards me. You cannot do that with a scooter, I can tell you that. I move the cart towards me, I'm putting my food on the belt from my cart. Here is a time lapse, and here is some music to go with the time lapse. And then you'll see in another clip from another recent vlog, me literally with my cart, putting water in my cart, and then I show you my cart. didn't fit down there, so I had to put it up here. And then the next clip, I'm literally walking down an aisle talking to you guys about a subscriber. Hello, jump scare. I'm at the grocery store. And I just met the sweetest subscriber who's so pretty with the cutest little piercings. So again, proving that I go grocery shopping weekly. I do not get my groceries delivered. I did get them delivered this last week because of cellulitis. And it's also showing that I do not use a scooter anymore. So I actually have not used a scooter in years. And it's something that I'm actually greatly proud of. I know that's a normal human thing, but I'm telling you, I use scooters even in my early 20s. It's a weird energy that people like actually want me to use scooters just so they have something to make fun of me about instead of just being like, wow, Amberlynn, like I'm glad you don't do that anymore. Next one is Amberlynn over-explains herself when she is lying. So I over-explain myself for several reasons and lying is not one of them. I noticed that when I don't over-explain something, people have literally told me, like, Amberlynn, you're being too vague, that's how I know you're lying. Amberlynn, you're being too vague, and that's why everyone else fills in the blanks. But over-explaining actually comes from trauma. It is a trauma response. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of like the fight or flight. A lot of people forget about fawning. I am a fawner. I fawn a lot. It's genuinely a stress response, and as hard as it is to believe, I get stressed. I have a lot of anxiety when it comes to YouTube. And my lack of regulating my emotions causes the anxiety as well. It causes me to be extremely overwhelmed, and over-explaining is actually a way that I cope. I don't just do this online, I also do this in my real life. I over-explain, I repeat things. It could be seen as actually pretty annoying, but it's a coping mechanism. Last one, Beck kept urging Amberlynn to go to the doctor for her constant bleeding. So this one's frustrating because no, they did not at all. During live stream era, they even admitted that they didn't. They admitted that they called me a hypochondriac all the time, and they even said that they were thinking I was being a hypochondriac about my bleeding. They admitted this, but for some reason, with the recent things that have happened, they rewrit the narrative for the newer audience that never sat through live stream era to make it seem like they cared and they urged me to go to the doctor when that never happened. The night that I finally was rushed to the ER, I actually had to beg Beck to take me, and they also admitted to that during live stream era. All right, you guys, it is time for bad choices. That is where I take 5 of these guys and I answer them just fast like light speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Would you drink a cup of human blood for $5,000? That would never happen. Absolutely not. Have you ever been cut off at a bar? No, because it's never gotten to that point. If you were a therapist, would you sleep with your patients? No. That is like the craziest question I've ever heard. Have you ever FaceTimed someone naked? Yes, obviously. Have you ever puked and rallied? I don't really know what that means. Does that mean like you drank and then you puked and then you just kept going? One time, or maybe twice. One time was with Destiny and Dana, and it was literally the most embarrassing thing ever, but they both took care of me, and I thought it was the sweetest thing. Like, Dana was like holding my hair back. It was genuinely so sweet. It was like a bonding experience. We were both drunk. We were like crying to each other. Like, oh my god, we could have been best friends. It was like a whole moment. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Oof, a lot of lying, a lot of bullshitting. What else is new? Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hopefully we don't have to sit through that shit once again.